This channel wishes to be compliant with COPPA and the FTC and is not intended for audiences under the age of 13.
Hi everybody, welcome back to another vlog. So we made it 3 months in the making and 70 drawings later, and we got the latest episode of the Animatic a couple of weeks ago. If you missed it, there is a card popping up at the top of the screen, but we do have some of it running in the background just off the edge here as well. It was definitely a labour of love. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing the final product once it was edited and the music was put in, and thankfully a lot of you guys did enjoy it too, so thank you all for your patience, and I feel personally that all the hard work paid off. But I did learn a few things, both good and bad. The good side of things was I really enjoyed this little mini gag coming up now. So basically just using I used the blur filter to make the gangplank look like it was vibrating when both myself and Melvin landed on it, and using the smears with the several pairs of eyes just to help accentuate that effect. I thought that was really cool and that worked. What did I feel didn't work? I think definitely need to get the aspect ratio right. Some of the shots had to be a bit bodged, like they were all done beautifully in Photoshop to what I thought the aspect ratio was, but then had to be a bit squashed here and there just to get them to fit. So I need to be a bit more careful and a bit more consistent between the art program and the video editing program on how the layout goes, so that we don't have to sacrifice on the quality of the aspect ratio, and so it all looks consistent and beautiful for you guys. Also, I learned that I need to find a way to make backgrounds still as visually appealing but a bit simpler, or find a way to generate them a lot faster. Someone in the comments was very kind in suggesting maybe I should generate the backgrounds in 3D, as in create a set, and then just use the camera to make different angled shots, so I didn't have to keep re-rendering or redrawing the image from scratch over and over and over and over again, which I think is a very good suggestion. I just don't know if I have the software to do that, but I shall make some investigations, because that was tough. That was very tough, having to draw that pirate ship over and over and over again to the point where I wanted the thing to sink because I was done with it. And I never want to draw Horatio Hotson ever again, because that guy is too detailed. However, that was all emotions at the time, and looking back, I feel it was definitely worth it. So what happens next? So in an attempt to speed up production of the next episode, I am trying to find a way to use repeat assets, but just not make it like cut and paste, like use the exact same shot over and over again. So what I've done, and I'll use a bit of a fade so you can see what I'm talking about, I'm creating basic expression templates with my face and Melvin's face, and all the different elements that would be posable, so eyes, mouth, eyebrows, things like that. I've done as separate little sketches, so that when it comes to a shot of myself talking or Melvin talking, I can literally just quickly swap the individual puzzle pieces to change their expression and their mouth movements quite quickly, so that I don't have to redraw over and over again. This means a bit of work at the very beginning to get all of these pieces set up, but this can then be repeated, because I only need to do it once, and this can be repeated over and over and over again for every single episode ongoing in the future. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this will ease up a bit of time. It's also because I want to maintain a more consistent look between shots, because even though I know the color schemes are the same and the basic design of the characters are the same, I did notice that once all the 70 drawings were done and I watched it completely from beginning to end, my avatar and Melvin would look different from shot to shot. Like Melvin's beak would change shape, my face shape would change slightly. So even though you can tell it's still me and Melvin, each individual me and Melvin is slightly different. So I wanted to maintain a more consistent look throughout the entire episode, and I think by doing this puzzle piece way and using guidelines to map out the proportion of like each of Melvin's beak is going to be the same size no matter what angle and no matter what position it's in, so that even if he's talking like this, face on and then to the side, the proportions of all those shapes will be the same no matter what angle he is in. That's the hope. I'm really hoping that it isn't going to be a waste of time, and that it will pay off and it will make things go faster and it'll look better. So fingers crossed, we'll see. So that is essentially it in terms of the episode just gone, but I appreciate this video is a little short after a couple of weeks. So what I'm going to do is it's going to be a tiny bit of a mini spoiler as to who is going to be in the next Animatic episode. So if you don't want to know which character is going to be in, I'll sign off now. But if you do want to know, then please keep watching, because we're going to go back in time to January 2021, and I'm going to introduce to you all now from a video pulled from the archives for all of you to enjoy once again is Edna, the time... I get tongue-tied every time I say her full name. Edna, the time-traveling space cop echidna. All right, everybody, enjoy, and I will see you as soon as I can. If not with an episode, then at least with another from the archives video. All right, bye guys.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the show. My name is Owen, and we are back again with another Monday character design session. So, flashing before your eyes now are the prompts from the Jazz's Arty Games app, where I made the custom generator. And this week's character is going to be a female monotreme, I'll explain what that is in a minute, who's a member of the police force, who is located in outer space in prehistoric times. Okay, so basically we have a futuristic location in a prehistoric time period. How the hell is that going to work? Alright, I'll have to think of something. And if you're wondering what a monotreme is basically a mammal that lays hard shell eggs like a bird. And there are only two species of monotreme in the world. That is the duckbill platypus and the echidna. Both are marsupials based in Australia. And I think out of the two, I'm thinking this is going to be a member of the police force. I'm thinking the echidna, she's going to be short, stocky, you know, a little bit of a badass with her spikes. So I think, yeah, we're going to go for the echidna. So sit back and enjoy Edna, the time-traveling space cop.
Alright everybody, so before we kick off, I just want to give a very brief apology that whilst I was designing and filming the initial sketches, my computer crashed and I had to do a hard reset. Thankfully, due to the auto-saving features in both Camtasia and Photoshop, I was able to recover some of the recording and the artwork. However, all the initial pencil stages were completely corrupted and destroyed, so I'm afraid we're kicking off a little further down the track than I would like, so apologies for that, but we'll carry on. So let's set the scene. The year is 2076. Edna the Echidna has been on the Space-Time Continuum Police Department, or the STC PD, for now 10 years. She joined because her brother was a member of the STCPD, but he, unfortunately, whilst undercover, was killed during a time-traveling adventure back to the prehistoric times. Now, through years of investigation, she managed to track down that her brother's killer was Tyron, a Tyrannosaurus Rex from the future, but had been hiding in the past, in prehistoric history, amongst the other dinosaurs, so he could go undetected. Now, as a smuggler from past relics back into the future to make his fortune, Tyron obviously didn't like Edna's brother stumbling across his time smuggling scheme and unfortunately took him out in a very grisly manner. So Edna spent her youth dedicated to training to joining the STCPD. She's definitely not a social person. She is single-minded and dedicated to the cause of bringing Tyron to justice. Always in the police gym. She quickly became, and her stocky physique helped build up a muscular body, and regular aptitude tests showed that she had a sharp and keen mind as well. So armed with the latest STCPD kit, she has a hover bike with a temporal engine which will allow her to go to any time period, though she does have an emergency device in the wrist guard of her suit that should she be separated from her bike, she can hit the switch and automatically return to 2076 back at the police department. That emergency system in her wrist is a one-way ticket as basically a hard reset, so she wouldn't have the freedom to move around. Only the bike can do that. It's basically so that no police officer can obviously be too tempted by the time traveling technology and go bad and go to the underworld side themselves. Now, obviously, this is mitigated by Chrono GPS, and Chrono GPS can track the bike not only in geographic location but also in time. Alright, so in this scene that we're drawing, Edna is in hot pursuit of Tyron. She's busted him in the past and he is trying to escape the planet, and she is in hot pursuit after him to bring him down once and for all. Now, the problem with designing a time spacesuit like this is the fact that I needed to have a color that would stand out against the dark blue black of space, and so I decided to go with a classic white but with a twist of the neon spikes at the end. White's pretty hard when you've got a white bike and a white suit, because it's like, well, where does the bike begin and the suit end? Like, visually, how can I help the viewer form a distinction between the two? However, making the armor plated with like a dark grey sort of Kevlar underskin definitely helps break up the pattern a little bit. However, again, I also wanted to create, because this is like a police force, I wanted to create like a unified design. So the fact that a white bike and a white suit may be hard to work around, it does create like, this is a corporate, government recognized suit and vehicle that would, definitely pop against space. So anybody who saw Edna coming would know exactly who she was. And what I'm doing now is I'm just toying with some glow effects on the spikes, because I really like, if anyone's seen the anime movie Akira, there's the amazing opening scene where the motorbikes are driving through Tokyo at night, and that the brake lights are leaving this trail behind them. And I had that in my mind when I was doing this, so I didn't want to create like the trail on all the spikes. That would look a bit too much, but I thought if I give the spikes this sort of glowing effect with the headlights and then the tail light trailing behind, I thought that looked pretty cool. And what I'm doing is I'm also making the inside of her helmet like basically like a tablet or like a pop-up screen. So she's got Tyron's details here, his perp details that is being read up on the inside of her shield, so that it's all being relayed back to the STCPD system. And a good way just to show a bike chase or any character at speed is just to add like a motion blur to the background. So all the stars in the background used with the spatter gun, I then just put a very faint motion blur on just to help create the illusion of speed. And now that I've added the basic highlights and shading, because she's got a lot of glowing elements on there, I wanted to keep the shading to a minimum, just enough to show that this is a slick, gleaming kind of surface, like a fiberglass suit and fiberglass bike. And now I'm adding the STCPD's logo just to show it's an intergalactic agency, but still with the classic gold of like a policeman's badge on there. So STCPD, which is the Space-Time Continuum Police Department, stopping crime anywhere, anywhen. Oh my god, okay, write that down. I need to write that down. That's perfect. Anywhere, anywhen. Love it. Alright, now that Edna's design is basically done, we're gonna design Tyron, the criminal that she's pursuing. First, I mean, initially I just wanted to stick with designing Edna, but I thought the piece was a bit empty just with her herself, so I thought it would show a bit more, it would give a lot more atmosphere and just enjoyment to the piece if I actually showed her in action chasing a criminal down. Now with Tyron, he's basically on a very loosely based Harley. I say very loosely based. Now, I'm not the best designer of vehicles and motorbikes, so the Edna's police bike, I think, has gone pretty well. I use a lot of reference imagery just to get that right. But because of Tyron's anatomy with his tiny arms and his massive legs, I had to make some adjustments. Not entirely sure if it worked, but definitely a good first attempt. And I've added like a classic biker's helmet on top of it to show he's a bad boy. Don't mess with him, he's gonna mess you up. And instead of wheels, we're gonna have like energy discs, like, it's got plasma wheels, which I thought would leave a good contrast to the gentle glowing effect of Edna's bike. We're gonna have like this sort of glowing flame coming from the wheels, very Ghost Rider-ish. I must admit, getting the idea to draw a space T-Rex, let alone a space T-Rex being pursued by a time-traveling space echidna, was just an absolute joy. I do like the two opposing genres being matched together. So if anybody remembers a cartoon show from way back in the day called Dino Riders, that was a cool show too, where basically space explorers from the future to escape from the alien pursuers hit their temporal drive and were sent way back in time to the time of dinosaurs, and they had this really futuristic ray guns strapped onto the back of dinosaurs. It was pretty cool. And what's that also? Oh, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. That was also a really cool show as well. I remember that was a good blend of modern day with prehistoric times. So yeah, you'll see later on that I give Tyron a beautiful, quite stunning goldfish bowl helmet, just to really show the differences in styles between his underground criminal technology versus Edna's up-to-date legitimate equipment from the STCPD. And so now we're going onto the plasma energy wheels. So I basically just put down a base coat in the kind of flowing motion that I want. Add a glow, and then I think later on I just put some detailed particles in there just to give the idea this is a sort of a flaming kind of material here. And now I add Tyron's good old goldfish bowl helmet. Thought just keep it easy. Just a nice ellipse with a shine and some opacities just to show that it's a helmet. But now that I've added these glowing energy wheels, the lighting is now going to completely change. It's going to be completely different to Edna's, where her body is emitting the glow, as the wheels on Tyron's bike are going to be the source of light. I have to completely adjust the shadows, especially as it's going to be a very intense plasma glow. So we're going to have some very interesting shadows across his face and across his body. And obviously, as it's a bright pinkish purplish light, we're not going to do white highlights, but instead do the same kind of color as the highlights on his skin as well.
So that was it. That was our reintroduction to Edna. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. And I'll see you all then. Bye, everybody.